This video will go over the application process through our web portal, specifically for a person who already had coverage through Obamacare last year or the year before. As you can see, we're entering the lead information and connect to healthcare.gov. Then it will connect us to healthcare.gov. The agent will log in using their FFM password. Because this client had coverage in 2015, we're first going to check to see if their 2016 application has already been updated. So we'll check 2016 and we'll click Florida. We'll enter the client's name and date of birth to see if there's already an existing application in the system. As you can see, this client already has a 2016 application that was updated by healthcare.gov. So if everything remains the same, we can actually view the results and return back to our enrollment website. If we have to change something on the application from last year, like income, we'll click Report a Life Change, and we'll scroll to the bottom and click Report a Life Change again. And it's going to ask us what type of life change. It's usually changing my household income, size, or other information. So we'll click that. And then it's going to take us to the application, but the application is going to already be pre-filled with last year's data, and we'll change the necessary information. So you can see here. All of the client's data is already pre-filled from last year's application, but this is for 2016. So we'll click Save and Continue. And we'll review the information to see if it's still current and accurate. And then whatever changes need to be made, we can go ahead and make those. For example, here, let's say the street home address changed. So we'll go ahead and delete that part. And we'll put in the new address. So we'll click on it, and everything is fillable. You can click on anything that was in the previous application and change it, including the number of people that are applying for coverage and so forth. So here we'll change the address. And we'll continue the application process. we will agree and sign the client's name and submit the application. We're going to receive the eligibility results. We're going to open that PDF, as you'll see here in a minute. We'll scroll down and we're going to have a big green button and we'll click View Eligibility Results. That's going to open a PDF. It's going to sometimes open it in a new window, so you're going to need to go back to your original Chrome window on the bottom. As you can see, I'm opening it up. It says Individual Application. So I'll open that back up. And I have to scroll down and continue. Step 3 is Continue to Enrollment. This is the most important step because this is what's bringing the subsidy back to our page so we can select the plan. As you can see, this client qualifies for a subsidy of $182 a month. And then we're going to go to the next step, which is seeing if they smoke or not. So we'll ask the client if they don't smoke. We won't check the box where it says tobacco use, and we'll click Update. Always click Update. As you can see on the top, you're always going to have check marks showing your next step. So the next step here is Plan Select. We'll select the plan that the client wants, of course. Let's say they're selecting the Ambetter Essential Care 1. We'll hit Select. And then we have to submit the enrollment. It's very important that when we submit the enrollment, we're absolutely positive that this is the plan the client wants, because this does lock in the plan where we cannot choose a different option moving forward. Then we're going to have, you see, we are going to receive a response, an enrollment response, and we always want to make sure that it's accepted. We want to make sure that the correct applicant is on there. As you can see, Stephanie Vitorero is on there. It's one applicant, and that's the person applying. Now we can do the payment information. So we're going to click Add Payment Method. And we're going to select between credit card or check. In this case, we'll select credit card. We'll enter the credit card number. It's very important that we're extremely accurate when entering this information, like with the application information, that every number is correct and everything's spelled correctly. The future payment date is not for reoccurring payments. It's actually for when the client would like this initial payment made. And that's going to be today's date if they're ready to take the payment today. If it's tomorrow, we will put tomorrow's date and so forth. Then we'll put the expiration date and the CVV code. As you can see, the client's information is already pre-populated. The amount of the payment address, his billing zip code, and so forth. If that changes, we can change it there. As you can see here, this isn't a valid credit card because I just entered random data, but in your case, you'll know if it's a valid credit card or not when you hit save. I'm going to just go ahead and exit it because that's a fake application, but in other cases, you would hit save and it would save the information. We're next going to go to the documents. It's important that we always save the eligibility results to the client's application, so to the client's profile. So we want to click 2016 eligibility results, and we want to browse just like any other attachment or email. The eligibility notice will be saved to your computer, will be downloaded on your computer, and we want to go ahead and save it. So we'll click save and save it as the client's name or whatever other information you'd like to identify the client's eligibility response. As you can see here, the second page is always going to tell us what documents are needed. It's very important that we notify the clients that these documents are needed in order to complete their enrollment, and that we collect these documents. So as you can see, for this client, they need some sort of proof of citizenship. A passport were due. They also need, proof of, income. So we'll submit. It'll ask you for, W-2 or any of that information. And it'll exactly tell you what is proof of income, what's proof of identity, and so forth. So you can read through the eligibility with the client and tell them what documents they'll need. It's usually one of whatever categories they're asking for. So we'll review that, and then we'll close it, and we'll upload it to their profile. We'll hit open and you'll see that it will upload as a regular email would. File successfully uploaded and saved to the database, and you'll see it right there. And then because we know automatically we send the tax return or request for tax return and driver's license, but if there's additional documents needed, for in this case it was some form of payment, income information, so a W-2 will work and a U.S. passport, and we'll click those documents and then we'll update and we'll send a document request to the client. That way the client knows that these documents are required and they do need to be submitted in order for your coverage to be effective. And we'll update and send that document request. And that is the complete enrollment. If there's any, and you see the email sent there. And then that's it. This client's fully enrolled.